This is the plaintiff, Jerry Ann Mara. She says her sweet therapy dog named Esmeralda was viciously attacked while she was doing her business by the defendant's bull mastiff. The dog escaped from the defendant's yard, entered her yard, and there was nothing she could do to stop the massacre, which lasted 20 minutes. Esmeralda suffered from multiple bite wounds on her chest, a fractured rib, and muscular tears. The defendants refused to pay her vet bills, and she's suing here and now for the $7,000 she's owed. These are the defendants, Lisa Chaperon and Joseph DeRochers. Lisa says they adopted the dog 4 days earlier from a shelter and had no idea he had aggressive tendencies. They were so sorry the dog got out, apologized for the 2-minute incident, and were told that day the vet bill would be $700. Now they're being sued for everything, including the kitchen sink. And it's clear the plaintiff's nothing more than a money-grubbing person out to make a buck on an unfortunate encounter. They're accused of not containing their bull dog.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff's therapy dog got viciously attacked by the defendant's bull mastiff. It was actually a 20-minute attack. The defendant says they just rescued their dog and had no idea it was vicious. It's the case of not containing their bull dog.
Jerry Ann Mara speaking. Okay. You are suing Lisa Chaperon?
Yes.
And Joseph DeRochers?
Yes.
Okay. For $7,000 in vet bills, exams, vaccinations, treatment for anxiety, security deposit, moving fees, and more than half of that for pain and suffering. Tell me what happened.
On the date of July 21st, the dog's legal name is Esmeralda. She is AKA Ezzy. On that night, she was doing her business on the lawn and at 5:30 p.m. and we were getting ready to enter the house, and from behind came a bull mastiff from next door, unleashed, pinned her underneath the porch step.
2 questions. Do you have a fenced-in backyard?
No.
When you say next door, are you referring to another part of your own building, or no, literally the property next door?
It's literally the neighbors next door.
And they don't have a yard either?
They do not have they have a gate that separates between the properties, but not one that cuts off from one yard to another.
So they have no way to contain dogs on their property.
Right.
That dog ran over to your property.
Yes.
And your dog was not on a leash.
No, she was coming in from doing her business. Yeah, she was on her property.
That dog comes over and does what?
He got her on her back. He attacked her. She had fractured ribs, bruised lungs. She was bleeding, and I couldn't get the bull mastiff off her.
Now, according to you, there was a party going on next door?
Yes, there was.
In the backyard?
There was a cookout going on next door, or a gathering, and across the street.
In the backyard?
Yes. Okay. And it took 2 gentlemen. First gentleman came, grabbed the dog by the tail, couldn't pull the dog off. Somebody else came, because after that, there was a whole bunch of ruckus going on.
Hoses.
And it ended up that 2 gentlemen pulled the dog by the tail.
What kind of dog is this?
It's a bull mastiff. It's a tank.
Okay.
And
do you have a picture of the dog? May I see it? So go on.
And pulled the dog off.
So 2 people, are you one of the people who took the dog off or no?
No.
Okay, so 2 people take the dog off, and what happens next?
I turned around and I picked Ezzy up and brought her into the house. And I had blood all over my shirt. I then immediately called the vet by the home phone. When I went to the vet in North Dayton, upon her being there, they examined her. I have all the information of treatment, what they did.
Okay, can I see all of the vet bills? What date was this that this happened?
July 21st, it was a Saturday evening.
Tell me about when you confront them.
When I confronted them,
it's how many days later?
The following day, the 22nd, I went to see them and I knocked on the door. I went to Kathy Chaperon, opened the door, and they welcomed me in the home.
That's who, your mom?
My stepmother.
Your stepmother. So were you guys living with her temporarily?
Yes, we were.
And the dog, the bull mastiff, had come from where?
The gated area in the backyard.
No, well,
we
that's actually a
adopted
very
her-
good
well,
answer.
we
For the
adopted.
next question, I haven't asked you yet, but it's your dog?
We just had rescued it 6 days earlier from.
Where did you rescue it from?
A bull mastiff rescue. I don't know the name of the rescue unit off.
So you'd had the dog for how long?
6 days.
And then you didn't even know the dog, and then you bring the dog to your stepmother's?
No, we were living there.
We were
at the
living
time.
there at the
Already
time when
living.
we
So
got
she knew you
the
were going to
dog.
rescue a bull
Yes,
mastiff?
they
Okay.
encouraged us because we had a dog that passed away recently,
Okay.
and they encouraged us to adopt
Okay,
another.
so it's all in the up and up except for the landlord,
Yes.
who doesn't even know you're staying there, much less bringing a big dog that turns out to be a little vicious.
Yes.
All right, where's the dog now?
Back at the
We
At
returned
the shelter. You
right
returned her
away.
after this
Right
event.
away. Oh, definitely.
Right.
We
Do you
were
guys have
never-
children?
Yes.
Yes.
How old?
6 and 17.
Exactly. Right?
It was.
Plus, you don't want to get bit either.
Well,
course not.
she was amazing with the kids. It was just a fluke thing that happened, and yet again, I'm very sorry to her.
Right. Except for she's got a lot of bills. Maybe not everything she's suing for you for. And we'll go over that now, but she's got a lot of bills. And at a minimum, can I just ask you this? Once she confronts you and tells you I have these vet bills, what did you guys say to her?
We were very willing to pay her the money until she contacted the landlord and we had to leave the property right away
Right.
because we weren't on the lease.
So she speaks to the landlord and says, these people aren't even supposed to be there. They're guests and they brought a dog and blah, blah, blah. And the landlord, of course, is angry because you're not allowed to bring a dog without written
course.
permission because that's a liability for the landlord.
Of course.
Right. So you guys had to go. I'm surprised you didn't toss out your stepmom. Was your stepmom mad at you?
They were mad about the situation, yes.
Well,
But not at you.
Well, they
'Cause
weren't
they're the
mad
ones
at-
who encouraged you
well,
to
they
get
weren't
the.
mad at us because we were on.
They were
weren't
watching the
even at
dog. We weren't even
property.
there when the incident happened.
So they weren't mad at you.
No, it was basically their issue.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's our dog.
And what happened? Like, you guys aren't even there, and what happened?
There's definitely not a party because we weren't even there. We were at a football
Oh, they
game.
didn't invite you.
Well, I play semi-professional football for the Williams City Clippers, and I had a game that day in Hanover, Mass, which is maybe 25, 35 minutes from there. We got the phone call maybe at 5:45.
Did you two coordinate your outfits for today?
Definitely. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
She says no.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. I'll
You
be
walked out
honest.
of the house together, didn't you? All right. So you weren't there. What was going on at your house, though, that she deems to be a party?
Nothing.
Okay. Who are the people who actually took the dog off?
My daughter.
It was my daughter.
and her boyfriend Mark.
She's definitely
She
not.
weighs like 4 pounds.
She definitely doesn't look like a boy at all.
No, she doesn't. But you and who else?
Her boyfriend.
How old? Come on up. How old's your boyfriend?
17.
How big is your boyfriend?
About
Close to her
Yeah,
size.
close to my size.
Big enough or not?
It's a little taller.
Yeah.
Just a little taller. All right. How did you get the dog off?
We just like pulled it by its tail and his.
How did you realize that you needed to get the dog off? Like, how did you know there was a commotion and whatever else?
Because I heard her yelling, saying "Help! Help!" and we just went out there.
And was there a bunch of people outside?
No.
So the defendants only had the dog for 6 days before the attack. Are they responsible for the attack on the other dog?
I think since they decided to rescue the dog, they're responsible for the dog.
They are responsible.
I feel like they didn't know anything about the dog. They had no idea. It was a kind gesture to save the dog.
So tough luck for the dog that got bit.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Okay, Ms. Mara, let's go over what you're suing for. Okay,
Okay, Your Honor.
Your total vet bill is $1,324.54.
That's correct.
Okay, the Thunder shirt for anxiety. Tell me about that. It's like a little.
It's a little shirt. It's a swaddling method.
Right.
It's a Velcro thing that you put around
Do you
the
have a picture
door.
of it?
No.
Okay. Do you have a receipt for it?
It's on, I believe it's on the back of one of those.
And that you bought a Thunder shirt. Why?
Because she had broken out in hives of anxiety. She wouldn't go outside the house. And they said to get the Thunder shirt that it would help her with the anxiety.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it's a good product.
Yes, it
All right.
is.
Now, you are suing them for renter's insurance, security deposit, moving fee, and pain and suffering of $3,500. Tell me about all that.
When I moved into the new apartment I had to go into, it was very hard for me to find a place to live that was on a first floor level, being handicapped. And I finally moved into a place, and they turned around and said I had to get apartment insurance. And then also turned around and said I needed a pet rider.
All right, but why would they be responsible for the fact that you wanted
Well,
to
because
move?
if the incident never happened, I wouldn't have had to move.
Was your lease up?
It had to be broken.
Let me explain something to you about that. I understand why in your mind, hey, but for this happening, I wouldn't have wanted to move. But what a judge has to do in court is award any damages that are reasonably foreseeable from the bad thing that happened. It is reasonably foreseeable you have to go to a vet. It is reasonably foreseeable the dog's going to be nervous. You might have to buy the dog a thunder shirt or whatever this thing is. Is it reasonably foreseeable that you're going to relocate and charge them $1,000 for relocating when they've already relocated because you've seen to it that they have to relocate? The dog is gone, the people are gone. So is it reasonably foreseeable that you would have, I mean, you don't just get like everything paid for forever for somebody, it has to be the reasonably foreseeable ones. I don't believe that that's reasonably foreseeable. And the $3,500 in pain and suffering, although I know that anything that happens to our pets, as someone who watched the neighbor's dog eat my cat of 15 years, okay, I know that that is incredibly painful. It happened in front of my children. What could be more painful than watching your children suffer and have nightmares? However, pets, like it or not, in the eyes of the law, are property. And so you don't get pain and suffering for pets. So you can't get that either. So what damages do you get? You absolutely get the money that you expended on the vet bill. You absolutely get your thunder shirt. I like just saying it. Thunder shirt for anxiety. And that is a total of $1,383.53. Verdict for the plaintiff. Pay the lady.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, the defendant comes out. The purple team loses this case. What's your reaction to this outcome?
We offered her $3,000 before going to court. I guess she should have taken that.
Yeah. When you rescue a bull mastiff, right? A big, huge, giant dog, right? How do you know what you're getting? What kind of temperament?
Well, that's the thing. They're supposed to do all these tests and everything. And then after we found out that they didn't do all the right tests, so that's why we gave the dog back instantly and did what we were supposed to do.
I know you said you're sorry. You're very contrite toward the plaintiff about what happened. But, you know, can you imagine, like, you have kids in the house. Ever think about what could have happened?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. That's why we returned the animal.
Yeah. You going to rescue any more dogs?
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe.
Bull mastiffs?
Anything. It doesn't matter about the breed. It happened. It's over with. I tried to take care of her.
Okay.
I tried to pay her.
All right. Thank you. All right. Right around the corner here. All right. So come on in here. Okay. You satisfied how this comes out?
Yes.
Seems like you tried to collect, get for the big bonanza. That didn't work out for you.
There's a lot of psychological that's still going on with the dog, but I do thank God that he gave her the wisdom to know what to do, and I think it was a fair deal.
Was the pain and suffering for the dog's pain and suffering you were trying to collect?
It was for both of us. It was for both of us, but for her mostly because she would not go outside.
How's the dog now?
She's getting better. She's not in the same environment, but she's getting better.
All right. Over to Harvey.
You know, in many states, there used to be something called the one free bite rule, which means that if you don't know your dog is going to bite and all of a sudden it bites somebody, especially a person, you get one free bite and then you're on notice the dog is maybe vicious. That rule has been eliminated in most states, and especially if a dog bites a person, automatic liability.